can get so good at the game that you begin to abuse each other. The other one is violent. The other one is manipulative. You understand what I mean by manipulation? Let me see whether I can explain this with a PG. On the matrimonial bed, there can be a fence with razor wire and electric fence on top, such that he cannot cross over until he satisfies the visa requirements. Now I can see some are losing me. There are sanctions in this home. This razor wire cannot be crossed until you do 1, 2, 3, 4. This man is suffering a sexual abuse of some kind. The character like Christ. Remember, in the triangle, you are walking towards Christ. Build a character after the character of Christ. Christ does not speak such kind of words. Words that are hateful. Words that they are women. Even though you see them in public walking, they don't feel adequate, not because they are not pretty, not because they are not well dressed, but because of the words they are told in their privacy by their husbands. You are nothing. So it has gone into their heads to a point, now they are so, what is the word I'm looking for? They have a low self-esteem because it has been repeatedly told to them by their husband. Every day, there is no stopping the husband is telling, you are nothing, you are nothing, you are nothing. Such that even when you come to church, you ask them to do something, they don't feel adequate. I'm nothing, I can't do anything. The husband has destroyed them to a point where they feel, I'm nothing. Surely I'm nothing, I'm not somebody. Do you know that even your hairs, her hairs are counted? They are not only counted, numbered. You see, there's a difference between being numbered and being counted. Being numbered it means that each hair has a number. When you shave number 20, God says number 20 is going. It's not just a matter of saying God says you've got 1,000 hairs. Each one of them is numbered. This woman, you are doing that too. Jesus died at the cross for them. If she was the only sinner, Jesus would still have come down to die for her. Aggressive communicators. And at times they use violence. Emotional abuse from that perspective, and sexual abuse, physical violence. Women are good too at the game. These days, more and more, can I tell you the truth, friends? More and more men are suffering from physical abuse from women. It's just that it's not a thing that men can do to go around talking about them being bashed by their women. It's true. Surely, it's not something we can laugh about. Let me tell you, my friends, I'm just being honest with you. It's beginning to show. If you are not a woman, and you are not a child, and you are not disabled, and you are a fully grown man who is able-bodied, you almost have no rights. Such that more and more women, more and more men are refusing to get into marriage because of the emotional abuse they suffer. And they are suffering from this emotional trauma, and they don't know, because men don't know how to process their emotions. There's this thing going on within them. They don't know what to do. They're just walking down the street, up and down. like zombies because they don't know what has hit them. God never intended for homes to be like that. I'll skip that one. And then there are passive communicators. They're just there, getting it all. Just being pelted on them. What can I do? The only reason why I'm still around is to see what they do next. Yesterday they beat me this side. While an aggressive communicator has no regard for your rights and your interest, a passive communicator has no regard for their own interest and for their own rights. They can't stand up for their rights. God never intended for you to be a doormat. While we are talking about being Christians, certainly the point is that you be a doormat. There are people who are in this place when they get so beaten up and they have been put in a box in such a manner that you can be worshiping with them and you never know, because they've been taught to be quiet about it. If anything, all they will do when they go to the shops, they will put on dark glasses to hide their bashing, their blue eyes from the bashing that went on the other day. Their children ask them, "Mom, what happened on the corner of your head?" They'll say, "Oh, I was walking and waking up in there and I hit my head against something." They will not tell. These are the passive communicators. They're just there receiving it. God never intended for it to be like that in our homes. See someone, talk to someone about what you're going through. In a church like ours, where we are trying to reflect the image of God and vindicate the image of God, please let there be no one who suffers silently. It is my prayer that no one suffers silently. Talk to someone. Talk to someone. Then we've got this group of people. When you talk to them, it's as if they have interest in your rights and your interests. But what they're actually doing is they're trying to draw you in before you know it. They've given you the grip. They're like pythons. From afar, it's changing its colors and it's drawing you in. And it's drawing you in. Before you know it, it has coiled itself around you. These are passive-aggressive communicators. In fact, these are very good manipulators. They use fear and guilt and moralism. What I mean by moralism is this. I know I wronged you, but aren't you a Christian? Bible says forgive and forget. What kind of a Christian are you? What they're talking about, as a Christian I'm supposed to forgive, right? It's right. But they're the wrong preacher. They're still, even when they're saying that, they're trying to manipulate me. They use fear. Oh, with that kind of an attitude, you are going to hellfire straight. They manipulate. They use fear. They instill fear in people. There are preachers like that who use fear to control people. Manipulators, they draw strings. They pull. You are a puppet in their own game. God never, and I'm generalizing here. I'm generalizing, right? It's women who are good at this game. While there's more men who are into violence and violence, women mostly respond by that. This thing that I was talking about, the fence, you remember the fence? It is a tool of manipulation. This one here. You do this first, then I'll do that. This is not happening today. You didn't do the dishes. Manipulation. Then they are responsive communicators. This is what God created. That there be a response. You know, I'm not happy with what you did. I feel when you speak like that. I feel when you speak like that. I'm sorry if they are responsive communicators. They are not so insecure. They don't feel so insecure. They can say, I'm sorry at any time, and they know they've not lost anything. But people who are insecure, they can't say, I'm sorry, because they've lost the game. I've lost the control. As soon as I say I'm sorry, I've lost the control. They are not afraid of saying, I'm sorry. I messed up. I'm really sorry. Please forgive me. I am not trying to suggest to you, friends, today, so long as there is Satan reigning in this earth, I'm not trying to suggest to you that there will be such a thing as a perfect family. We will step on each other's toes because we are human beings. There are things that she's going to do that I don't like. There are things I'm going to do that she doesn't like. But please, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the way we communicate with each other. God has never